Hello, I'm Dan.
I'm Eddie.
I'm Charlie.
And welcome to Under the Radar.
Roll intro.
Coming up on today's show, I take a look at the future of cleaning with an automated shower cleaner. Charlie and Eddie go head-to-head in creating their own Halloween-inspired sculptures with a 3D pen, and our crew look into the prospect of a keyless society.
Have you ever made a little mess of the floor that you wanted to clean up but can't be bothered going through all the hassle of getting the vacuum out, unpacking it, cleaning, and then putting it away again?
Or do you simply want a way of cleaning that means you don't have to do anything at all?
Well, the answers to your lazy dreams are here with the Makoro robot cleaning ball.
It roams freely around your home, picking up dust and dirt, changing direction whenever it hits an obstacle, so it'll never insist on trying to go upstairs or backing itself into a corner.
So you, Eddie, can just sit back and let it do its thing.
Now after 15 minutes it will stop to save battery, but if you just nudge it, it will start up again.
I can see my cat absolutely loving this.
Besides Eddie turning it into a cat toy, it's a pretty nifty little product.
And although setting you back £30, it does come with 4 different coloured covers, so it can still be used when one of them is in the wash.
Now while we're on the topic of automated cleaning, Dan went to see an automatic shower cleaner.
I did indeed, and although it's only in its early stages, I have to say I'm definitely signing up to get one of these. Take a look.
So Noda, first of all, thanks for having us here today.
Thank you.
It's been a pleasure. Behind you here we have an example of one of your automatic shower cleaners. Can you just tell us a bit about how you came up with the idea for it? Where did it come from?
The idea is just simple. I wanted to spare my time to exhausting process to cleaning the shower cubicle all the time, because we got all obligations. The obligation is the household. You need to just maintain this cleaning environment, so you can't accept your partner to do that, or perhaps you can hire the cleaning companies or clean for you, but that is a casual lifestyle. So that's only the one reason inspire me to using the one small simple device which is maintains your shower cubicle as a clean as Spark has been in first time.
How much did it cost you to build these things?
Well, the cost range, we trying to get minimum, because we wanted to the affordable enough.
Each cleaner is specially designed to suit any sort of shower. The 3-meter length arm can accommodate all kinds of showers, however tall or differently shaped they are. It is simply a case of sending the specifications of the shower with your purchase so it can be programmed to suit all needs. Alongside this, it's also very practical. All that's needed is a 240-volt power supply and an active water supply. The tank's design is one that fits right into the style of any bathroom. Right now, the ASC is still within its funding stages through Kickstarter, with the creators currently asking for an £800 pledge, including VAT, for you to receive the device alongside the tank and ceiling mounted unit. So do you think you could actually show us how it works?
Absolutely, it's just only simple to take the remote control. This can be operated by the phone as well, or app. At the latest stage now, everybody's working with apps. But we integrated this app with this function. By the moment you get to press the button, and it just starts working.
Now, the automatic shower cleaner operates in a 3-stage cycle. Within each cycle, the red light turns green as we see the cleaner come down. From here, it's where the spray cycle starts. It goes all the way from the top down to the bottom. The 3-step system works by spraying detergent followed by filtered water and then a polishing agent to give each shower a complete overhaul, approximately using up the equivalent of £2 of product per clean. This looks like a device that can save money and hassle within the busy household.
Well, I was not expecting that. So sleek and quick.
A very innovative idea. I was impressed. However, I think the automatic shower cleaner is definitely up there as one to watch. Another piece of tech I like the look of though is this, the Polaroid 3D pen.
The 3D pen allows you to create 3-dimensional images and structures. It comes with access to the Polaroid Trace app, which provides stencils you can trace right from the screen of your phone.
And then it's just a case of creating the pieces and, once cooled, assembling the 3D models. But you always have the option of going freehand as long as you've got the creativity for it.
Better still, you can be sure you won't accidentally block the pen up if you leave it alone for a while, as the filament is retracted when the pen is inactive, meaning the melted plastic won't dry and stop your creativity flowing.
Now, earlier on this week, I set these two the challenge of creating their own 3D sculptures in just 5 minutes.
Okay, so yeah, we're here with this pen. It's already been preheated up, so it's got a nice blue light there, but I mean, it only takes about sort of 3 or 4 minutes to heat up. You've got to be very careful though, don't touch the end.
It's pretty hot, isn't it?
Yeah, I think it's
I think
180 to 200 degrees Celsius. So
Yep, okay, so not touching that.
there. So I think you can just load this into the hole in the top, and away it goes. It's just going to come out the end any minute now, isn't it?
Yeah, wait for it. It's going in. Where it's going, I've no idea.
Here we go. There we go. There we go.
Okay, do like triangles or something. Or
Yeah, okay.
I think that's the.
How do you stick it to the...
Just, yeah, there you go. I'd stick it down and then.
I think. Yeah, sort of got a corner there. Or not.
Go like stick it down and then. Yeah, there you go.
And go along the table, sort of, yeah.
Right, so guys, now that you've had a little chance to play around with it, I've got a little challenge for you. I'm going to say you have 5 minutes to create the best Halloween-themed 3D model that you can. Eddie,
Okay.
I think you're up first.
Okay,
Charlie, do you want to
cool.
come with me and we'll see how you get on?
Okay, cool.
See you in a bit, Eddie.
Right, see you later, guys. Right, there we go. There's the first one.
No, your time is up. How did you get on?
Well, I made a little face
Right,
in as a pumpkin. It's a face in a pumpkin.
I think it's a work of art. Yeah.
Thank you. It's my
Okay.
masterpiece.
Shall we see how Charlie gets on?
Yeah.
Right, let's go.
Well, I happen to have a little app that I've downloaded, the Polaroid Play app. And what I can do is put this little bit of perspex on the top. Like so. And we have a little stencil that we can copy. And tell Eddie.
And here we have it, the grand unveiling. Are you two ready?
Yep.
And here we are. Now, Charlie, I mean, no offence, but yours is considerably better.
It is. I did use an app, so that's why mine's slightly better.
Yeah.
Okay.
A bit more 3D.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Now, the 3D pen cost £30 to buy, and I have to say it was well worth it. I had a lot of fun.
Now, Dan and Eddie, when I say Terminator, what springs to mind other than Arnie?
I don't know, cyborgs?
Yeah, right first time. Give that mind a prize.
Well, I was going to say that.
Yeah, sure you were. Well, Charlie, what do cyborgs have to do with anything other than being the technology of the future?
Well, an investor in Hampshire has decided that keys are no longer necessary, having developed an implant no larger than a grain of rice, which can control devices ranging from door locks to his very own car. We sent our crew to find out more.
Hi, my name's Steve Northam and I'm Director of Biotech Limited, and I've got a microchip implanted in my hand.
Part-time lecturer and director of 37 companies, Steve has found himself at the beginning of new technology. We caught up with him to find out more.
Biotech's a start-up biomedical company which produces human implantable technology. I have another director who's a doctor. I specialise in the business sort of aspects of the company, so the development and the marketing, etc. And the doctor involved is the specialist in the biomedical, sort of the implant procedures and so forth. So I use the implant for opening doors as I walk around the office. I can get into my house, so I have contactless entry to the house. And some of the cars I own have contactless starting now, so I can start the ignition with my hand by touching the steering wheel. Implants are installed via quite a large needle, but it's a completely pain-free process, so it's a complete medical procedure. It takes around 2 minutes. The future for the company is looking towards contactless payment, so we've got a working demo whereby I can pay for stuff using my hand. We're pushing towards assistive technology, so helping disabled people to wander around houses, payments, etc., stuff like that. So, no effect on security alarms in shops, airport testing, MRI scanners, all sorts. It's all been tested, works fine. There's no tracking enabled in the microchips which are implanted. There's no GPS technology. If you're concerned about tracking, you really need to get rid of your mobile phone.
That's amazing. And to think by 2029 we could actually have some Terminators walking around.
Well, I think you may be getting a bit ahead of yourself there, mate.
Yeah, maybe. For now, I'll just have to make do with self-driving cars. We went to see Bill Saville, who owns a car that can do just that.
Hi, I'm Bill. This is my Tesla, and I'm going to tell you about all the cool features and gadgets it's got. So, my Tesla's a fully electric vehicle. It's such an amazing car. It's the best car I've ever owned. It has absolutely no gears in it, so you just press drive and away you go. It can drive itself, so you can put it in self-drive mode, and it will brake, accelerate, and also steer around the corners on roads without crashing into anything. If you park it in a tight parking space and you can't get the door open, you can actually use the app to drive the car backwards and forwards. And aside from that, it's just got a ton of things inside the cockpit that make it really, really amazing. The Tesla is definitely the best car that I've ever owned. I think nowadays the experience of a car is probably more geared up towards the technology inside the car than necessarily the looks of the car outside. I would absolutely recommend it to anybody.
Well, now I want one. That would make driving a whole lot less difficult.
Are your pockets deep enough, though? The model will set you back by 56,000 quid.
Wow. Well, as we all know, apps have an ever-increasing importance in our lives. I mean, if you wanted to track your sleeping patterns...
There's an app for that.
Lost your phone?
There's an app for that too.
Lost your phone?
Well,
Friends?
there's an app for that too.
But have you ever wondered how apps actually become what they use in our day-to-day lives?
Well, today we were lucky enough to be joined by Nick Thorne, co-founder of Winchester Innovations.
Nick, welcome, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us today. First off, could you tell us a little bit about Winchester Innovations?
Hi, and yeah, thanks for inviting me. So Winchester Innovation have been around for about 10 years now, and we were founded by a couple of ex-Philips Semiconductors engineers. And so we've been in the industry for about 20 odd years, 25 years. But that said, we had a couple of students working with us this summer who were very useful.
Oh, great. So what does Winchester Innovations do exactly?
So if anybody has a problem and they think it can be solved by a computer and or an app, then they'll come and call us, and we'll offer our advice. And sometimes the advice is, here's an app, here's a blueprint, here's how we go about it. Sometimes it's, well, I don't think an app's actually going to solve your problem. So it depends.
And what apps have you actually worked on?
Because we sort of seem to reflect the economy of the South, and so we tend to be working in healthcare and blue tech. So one of our big developments was with the National Oceanography Centre on an app called AnyTide, where they made use of all of their ocean hydrodynamics knowledge in order to put that into an app that allows people to see the tide anywhere around the coast of the UK.
Wow.
Yeah. So what does the process of app development actually involve?
Well, the initial, the starting point of an app is the customer knows that they want something, so they'll come and ring us up, and then we try and distill that into an idea of what they're trying to do with their business. So we have to understand what benefit the app is going to bring to their business, and then we'll work that through into a bunch of stories, which we call user stories, which explains in a predetermined way what you're going to expect the app to do, and then we'll generate wireframes, lots of pictures, and then we'll go through to the app development tools and start creating it.
And how long is the process of developing an app?
It varies massively depending on what the app wants to do. So, you know, the phrase people use is how long is a piece of string. Incredibly apt here. Some apps are very simple and they just run on the smartphone. Other apps will interact with a back-end database on a server, and they become much more complicated. So it can range from 1 or 2 weeks to tens of person years.
Wow.
In order to develop.
So in your experience, what is the most difficult aspect of app development and why?
The hardest thing, I think, is probably not the app development itself. It's probably the marketing of the app. So, for instance, if you knew Angry Birds, very successful, that was game number 72 from the company that Rovio. I think they've been in business for 6 or 7 years. So, make sure you save some money for marketing it.
So, have you got any top tips for anyone that was wanting to develop an app?
Well, as I said, I think, we've also found some very interesting applications to do with things like healthcare, where they're trying to solve a problem that is actually a slightly larger problem with the organisation. So sometimes you have to take a few steps back, and you think that you want an app, but actually what you really need to do is work through some kind of organisational structures. So we can see ways of saving a lot of money in a company, but it might not be just a case of of creating an app and creating a back-end database in order to service that. But that said, we've also seen some very interesting and strange apps. I think the most fun one we worked on was one that interacted with a handbag.
Oh wow! And how did that work?
So it had an LED on a handbag, and the idea is that when you receive a notification, an SMS or an email or something, then the LED flashes on the handbag.
Useful.
It's a different colour depending on the kind of notification that you get. Yeah.
Wonderful. Well, unfortunately, that's all we've got time for today, Nick. But thanks again for coming down to speak to us.
Yes.
Thanks again.
Thanks. Now, while we're speaking of apps, there's actually one that's been developed that creates 3D holograms. Check this out.
This smartphone hologram is simply created using a light source. In this case, the smartphone screen being reflected on 4 sides of a perspex pyramid. The angles of the sides ensure that the entire image is reflected. The 3-dimensionality effects are the result of your brain seeing 4 different perspectives of the same object, being projected in different sides of the pyramid and interpreting that information as a 3D object. Using the free Brightbugs Holobeam app, you can create your own 3D holograms. Simple science with a really amazing effect.
Now, with Halloween only being a day away, our crew have arranged a little competition for the 2 of you. Here we have 2 pumpkins, both have been hollowed out, and you both have 45 seconds to make a face in them. Right. The best face wins.
Well, now what's the twist? There has to be a twist.
Well, Eddie, you will be using the electric pumpkin carver, whilst you, Dan, will be using, working with your average supermarket bought pumpkin carver set.
Right.
So, are you ready now?
Let's do this.
On your marks, get set, go. See how we go. Oh, wow.
Oh, lovely. Oh.
Yep.
There we are. Ooh.
Sort of doing, yeah.
There
Dan's
we are.
beating you, Dan's beating you.
Oh.
Huh?
Get back in there. Can't get in. There we are. There's one side of it.
Quick, quick.
Oh, God. Right. Let's push that through. And then push that one through.
Oh.
Oh.
Oh, it's 10, 9, 5, 6, 4, 3, 2, 1, and stop. Oh, well.
Right.
There we go.
Yeah.
Should we?
Turn your pumpkins around.
Yeah.
There we are.
Yeah.
There we are.
Right.
Added a tooth into mine as well.
Oh, lovely.
Yeah. Now, I think it's a bit obvious that the electrical pumpkin cover was a bit faster, but did it actually turn out what it wanted to be?
Well, I think that's down to my skills.
Yeah. Okay.
So take a nice, precise time with the eyes there.
Yeah. Okay.
True, but it is 14 quid, this thing. So,
Right.
but compared to yours was only a quid. So
There you go.
not bad there.
Well,
Yeah.
there you have it. I suppose if you're ever in a rush and need to carve a pumpkin urgently within 45 seconds, it might be worth investing in one of these wonderful electric carvers.
Yeah. Although I would recommend taking longer than 45 seconds to carve it, though. Otherwise, you might look a little bit like this.
Yeah.
Now, unfortunately, that's all we have time for this week. But tune in next week when we'll be looking at the modular watch that can track everything from your heartbeat down to the amount of steps that you've walked, whilst being personalised specifically to you. Thanks for watching, and good night.